Hey fellow Aquas, how y'all doing? Welcome. We're going to be taking a look at your second half of November general reading here. So in the meditation, I saw the image of, so it's technically a waterfall, but in Houston, right, there is this, it's kind of like nature meets art, but it's an outdoor installation of this huge semicircle of stone, and it's a waterfall that they've erected like in the middle of this park. And I was standing at this, it's like, do you say water wall or waterfall wall? We'll say water wall. Standing at the water wall, and I see the Aquarian Collective in a kind of like a lazy boy chair, and watching, like flicking through different movies using the waterfall as like a projection screen. So seeing the movies like on this wall of water, really, really interesting. And then I saw behind like the Aquarian Collective sitting like this huge wolf, like coming from behind. And I like turned around, I saw this wolf standing in front of this very dark, it felt very like Little Red Riding Hood, like dark thicket in the night under a full moon energy, because why not? It was this huge wolf, and it felt like it was an invitation. I felt like it was this invitation of like, you know, do you want to stay where you are? And flipping through movies. It felt like movies of the past as well. Like a couple of the movies that came through on the water wall cinema hour were Clueless and Fast Times at Ridgemont High. Both of those are like, you know, they got some age on them. So it's interesting. This wolf coming through, and it felt like an invitation, like, do you want to go into the woods with me? Do you want to stay where you are, or do you want to go this way? Really interesting. And that's where the meditation ended. It wasn't like, and then like you got up and followed the wolf and then you went down this path. It felt very much like not an unfinished story, but like we're at the part in the book where it's like, we're at like, you know, chapter 3 or something. And then it like the book just, the rest of it's blank. It's really, really interesting. I feel like there's an energy around it that I'm getting that's sort of like, oh God, it's so trite. I feel like this song is like, it was great in its day, but I've heard it so much where I don't even want to reference it. But it's that Natasha Bedingfield, I think it's Natasha Bedingfield's song. It's like that song, The Rest is Still Unwritten. The Rest is Still Unwritten. There's something about this. The fact that it was nighttime and the moon energy as well. You know, the fact that we're going into Sagittarius season, when I think about Sagittarius energy, which I love, by the way, love Sagittarius energy. There's that aspect of temperance, balance, patience, harmony, and timing. And it feels like there's this aspect of being at this water wall, watching these films, right? And then having this like shift where it's like an invitation to go into the dark woods, to go in the unknown, under the light of the moon, and with the wolf as your guide. That feels like very like Sagittarius energy in terms of like choices, balance, right? It's like, do you want to stay where you are and, you know, keep it chill, like in front of the water wall, watching, you know, movies and a lazy, that sounds nice to me. Or you can come this way into the unknown. It feels like there's something that's beckoning. Like, it's like my curiosity is such a level where if a wolf is gonna find me, like, I'm gonna follow. Because it's like, oh, are you choosing me? Are you like inviting me on a journey into the woods? Into the woods, into the woods. It's like, okay, like who's gonna say no? You know what I mean? So it feels like an invitation and a potential. But I do feel like it's going to require a sort of leap of faith, or a sort of being willing to forge a road ahead that you have no idea where it's gonna go or how it's gonna, you know, manifest along the way. Wolf energy though is Hierophant energy, which is about everything being exactly as it's, you know, truly meant to be within a system of divine order and tradition, which is to say we can find some comfort in that from the aspect of there's no way that I can mess this up. There's no wrong answer. Like, you know what I mean? There's no way to mess it up. It's a major arcana energy. It's just choices. It's either I can go this way and see what lies ahead, or I can just stay where I am, which is, you know, not bad at all. And it's really up to you. But that is the energy. And it feels very exciting. And I would really like to know, like, who would not follow the wolf? You know what I mean? If it's like, hey, like, come with this, like, okay, I think I'm gonna follow you, because that's how stories begin. Can you think of how many stories begin, and if the protagonist was just like, oh, that call to adventure, the hero's journey, I'm gonna stay where I am. Thank you, I'm good. So it feels like there's this aspect of like the adventure or the story beginning in a certain way. I also feel like there are certain paths or aspects of your path that are about to be revealed as you move into this unknown fray, should you choose to. Really, really interesting. With that being said, let's go ahead and see what the cards say. Hey Aquas, let's go ahead and see what your animal energy is for the second half of November. Second half of November. Oh, stunning. I'm so here for it. Ooh, it's like a nice, cool drink of water. Sea serpent. First of all, I want to point out, this circle here represents that of spirit. So this is like even a step beyond the major arcanas in this deck. This is just like, when we talk about fate, destiny, bigger picture, point of purpose, that's what we're looking at here. So sea serpent is a stunning energy. Here we have the Yermungandr, the world serpent, the snake eating its own tail. It speaks of cycles and the completion of cycles. Now, what I'm really obsessed with this is, remember how we saw you guys, watching these films on the water wall and the wolf coming. Didn't we say that it was like choices and paths, like new paths forming ahead on the other side of embracing a certain mystery of some sort or unknown elements? So this is the ending of something, and then something new beginning as a result of this chapter, or lessons being learned and closed, right? It's really fascinating how this is coming across. There's also this eye in the middle here as well. When I think about, like, you're watching movies this way and then turning around and then seeing under the light of the moon, it's really fascinating here. So this speaks of emotional cleansing. This speaks of, I feel like I have moved into acceptance. I have moved from, any kind of like tumultuous waters into calm waters. I feel like I've reached a place of acceptance about where I am, acceptance about where I might end up. But also, I feel like this is very important to say, because you're watching movies from the past, acceptance of what has been and what has not been. Something about that, right? It's like, oh, how funny when we truly reach a place of acceptance about whatever this is, that new paths open up for us. Interesting how we only really stay stuck when we refuse to let go or accept things that as they are, as they aren't. It's fascinating how that goes. So this also equates to the Queen of Wands a bit in the Tarot, in the way that it speaks of how emotional cleansing and emotional healing can do wonders for our self-confidence. Because the Queen of Wands is all about self-confidence. She's a leader. She's an artist, honey. She loves the home and the hearth. She is just that yellow chakra, that solar plexus chakra, all day, every day. That's the chakra from which we experience the world, right? So you know that saying of like, how you perceive other people is how you perceive yourself. She is the queen of that truth. So I feel like there's an aspect here with the sea serpent of, there's a certain sense of like alignment and clear seeing and clear feeling that is allowing certain things to come to their completion points. And for new mysterious, but like exciting mysterious potentials or coming into the moonlight. And I feel like only by going into that forest and not knowing what's coming, right? Taking some leap of faith or some chance in some way, right? Is what's going to lead from the cycle of moving from the moonlight into the sun, where everything is revealed and laid out. It's really, really fascinating. Really, really fascinating. Okay, let's see what's going on. But it does feel, stop, step and repeat, but don't you dare, keep going. Look at this temperance energy here, hello and goodbye. This is what we've been talking about. This is Sagittarius energy. We were literally talking about this, but I am even more obsessed because do you see how This angel here has got the water going into the 2 cups. Are we not the water bearers? I'm so here for it. The water, the reflective surface, 1 foot on land, 1 in the water, that idea of harmony, patience, balance, alignment. I mean, hello, we talked about this. I'm so here for it. Also, there's an aspect here, you know, with the rainbow and the, you know, passing of storms into a new cycle with the sun here as well. And then we also have the rainbow, which is representative of the chakra system, and the yellow ring and the yellow sun here and the yellow iris, talking about that. There's something about the solar plexus chakra and the Queen of Wands that's coming through here as well. Queen of Wands being fire energy, representing Sagittarians, and then we have them coming up here as Temperance. Why do I feel like this is an incredibly important season for us? I mean, we have like the spirit card here, and then we have a major arcana. It's really stunning, but this is all about acceptance. We achieve temperance. We achieve the temperance position, right? Through acceptance. How do we find harmony? Through acceptance. We don't achieve harmony when everything is exactly as we want it. We achieve harmony when we accept things as they are. Woo! I just felt a shivvy with that. There's something around that rather feels like the theme. Okay. What else is going on? Oh, God. Let's just go there. Okay. 3 of Swords. So here we have ourselves showing up here with this sword energy, but what I'm really obsessed with this is that 3 of Swords, yes, it is heart pain, it is anguish, it is anxiety, it is trauma, it is all of those things, but it's stemming from the past, which is why I find this so fascinating here. 3 of Swords energy is not something that just happens in a moment. It's like, oh God, I feel that in a 3 of Swords way. This is something that has had time to fester and grow and really sink its roots into your emotional body and your core, right? So the fact that this is past pain coming in here and it's like a dark and stormy sky, I'm really thinking about the watching of the films from the past on the water wall, and then choosing, like, do you want to like just chill out where you are and keep reflecting and keep processing, which, by the way, no wrong choices, right? Or do you want to move on from there and go into something that we can't reveal the entire set yet. We cannot reveal exactly what it's going to be, but you have an invitation to move into the mysterious and the unknown. Fascinating how this, really, really fascinating how this is coming across. Okay, I feel like there's something coming through around choices. Choices are interesting. Everything is about choices, right? It's what gives us our autonomy, our power of choice. A lot of the times we make choices based on our past experiences. How could we not? We're spiritual beings having a human experience. That is how it goes, right? But sometimes when we have awareness that is happening, when we start seeing the patterns in our lives and how we keep attracting similar stories or circumstances or issues or whatever it is, we can go, okay, how am I responsible for these repeated patterns? How am I responsible for this? How are my choices, sometimes subconscious choices based on past experience, affecting how I see things and affecting what choices I do or don't make? That is coming up for review. And it's interesting here with the sea serpent and the 3 of Swords, because we're talking about emotional cycles and cleansing, right? Okay, I gotta say it. I'm getting an image of, I don't know the exact word, but it's like the debris from the sea. I know that there's a word for it. Let me know in the comments. Like debris from the sea that kind of like washes up on the shore from like old shipwrecks. And you're like, oh, this came from, I feel like that's what the 3 of Swords is. It's coming up for you during this time. But what's really fascinating is I feel like you are being given this beautiful gift of awareness that it's happening. So, and you know I don't say this lightly, you know you are not going to catch me on this channel talking about people from your past are coming back and they want you back and like people, no. That is not where we are and it's not what we do. But in this context, I do feel like there are aspects either of your former self, your former choices, or former people that you have known that are coming up for review on the shoreline. They're washing up on the shoreline. There's something about something ending and something new coming ahead, and it's that in between and choice and two roads diverging. It's really fascinating how this is coming up. But I suppose we wouldn't want to, if we had a choice, which we do, to carry on, you know, in a way where our past experiences are incentivizing us, even if it is subconsciously, to make the same choices that are going to result in us, you know, manifesting what we've already manifested that maybe we don't, you know, have grown out of, are no longer in alignment with, right? Fascinating. What else is going on? Oh God. The Tower. Let's talk all about this. You know, this is really, really fascinating, and I want to point this out. Just look at how this is storyboarding here. Okay, we have two major arcanas, right? We have Scorpio energy here. What follows Scorpio season? Sagittarius season here. Both of these are bookmarking the central position of the Three of Swords, which is being overseen and is in alignment with emotional healing and cleansing of the Sea Serpent. We also talked about the Queen of Wands energy and how she really embodies that seat of confidence, how she is in a position to really live her best life because she has no ideas that go against, you know, her manifesting from a positive place. She doesn't deal with thoughts of like lack of self-worth or past pain or repeating past mistakes. She is simply present and fully seated in her own confidence and knows that what is hers will not pass her by, and how what happens to and for her is really up to her, right? So it's interesting, you know. Okay, the Tower, in my experience, I always call this the universe being the great rearranger that it is, right? And thank goodness for it. In my experience, Tower moments happen when we have made sometimes there are events that are bigger than us, and it is what it is, right? But in my experience, a lot of the times personal Tower moments happen, right? Not global, but personal Tower moments happen when we make more fear-based choices than love-based choices. We're presented with these options a lot, you know, along the road that we're walking, right? And we have these choices of like, hey, are you gonna make a love-based choice or a fear-based choice? What's tricky about it is that, you know, fear-based choices can present as a love-based choice. So knowing yourself, knowing thyself, back to that solar plexus Queen of Wands, because she is the queen of knowing thyself, that yellow solar plexus chakra, knowing thyself feels more important than ever, which is fascinating because wolf medicine, wolf energy is very much about knowing thyself, right? It's about instinct, right? The wolves under the full moon, right? It's really about truly accepting what is within you, accepting who you are, and then understanding your inner workings in a way that empowers you to make love-based choices, where you're not at the mercy of your own fear and your own subconscious, right? Really fascinating here. Really fascinating. I'm really drawn to how these two are bookending the Three of Swords. It feels important somehow. Like if you look at the shape of the Tower key here, and then look at the shape of the Temperance, it feels like there are two bookmarks that are holding up this heart. Do you see that? It's really interesting. Do you remember when we talked about a new path forming with the wolf there, and how you would have to leave where you've been or where you are in order to pursue it? I feel like that is what's coming through with this Tower energy here. And I feel like for some of you, because I feel like choice is the key here, I feel like for some of you, this is going to be a very happy event, right? And I want to kind of flip this upside down a little bit, right? For others of you, there's going to be aspects of this where what we resist persists. There are certain changes that in a certain evolution that wants to happen with and for you. But I feel like, you know, we are beautiful fixed signs that we are. We aren't known for loving change. We like global change as Aquarians. We like, you know, change for the humanitarian best, right? But when it comes to our personal lives, not such huge fans, right? So it's interesting here. It's really, really interesting here. I do feel like this Tower is going to be that fork in the road where there's like this side, this way of like, you know, kind of relearning some lessons that have already come up for you, or taking some more time to reach that level of acceptance within you so that you can know yourself and move on from there. And then there's going to be another fork in the road where there's another body of you guys where it's, you know, choosing, okay, you know what, I don't feel the need to, you know, stay anywhere in particular from where I've been. I'm really willing to leave behind what I do know in favor of what I don't. That is hard to do. Let's get some advice. Again, I can't emphasize this enough. There's no right or wrong to this. There's no right or wrong to this, but I do feel like there's going to be a good group of you guys that have some offers, some very tempting offers, but it's going to require you make some change in some way or do something that scares you, okay? The Devil is your advice, Capricorn energy. So what I'm taking from this, first of all, Devil energy is very much about everything that you can see, touch, and feel, but the Devil is about fear, right? Now, it talks about entrapment, you know, being a victim of your own vices, all of that. Were we not just talking about making more love-based choices over fear-based choices? Get well acquainted with your fear and how it presents to you. Really, know thyself, get well acquainted with your fear, get really, really comfortable with like having a cup of tea with your fear, because that is your advice here. That is what's going to serve you, because the only things that really truly have power over you are the things that we are unwilling to look at. You're being asked to look. As ugly as it can be. Look at that ugly fairy. Let's get an oracle. Let's get an oracle. Oh, I'm so here for it. So the oracle is I, rebirth, counsel, inspiration, leopard, and root chakra. So, okay. I want to point out the fact that the rebirth aspect, it's kind of hearkening back to this Scorpio energy, but we were talking about rebirth, about leaving behind what has been, or willing to shift from, you know, current state of affairs and the known in favor of the unknown and the mystery and the true potential. Right? So counsel, inspiration, it's really interesting here as well, because temperance always comes up for me too when we're talking about like therapists, life coaches, counselors, anyone who's kind of in the business of being able to see both sides of something. It's kind of like zebra medicine, being able to see both sides of something and understanding that really everything is gray. There's no right or wrong. It's really just the gray area all of the time. Ooh, I just got shivvies again. So there's something in that for you. And then rebirth. I mean, hello, we were talking about that, right? With that emotional balance, equilibrium, and healing, one thing ending so that something else can be born, right? Counsel, inspiration. You know, the fact that this is under a night sky as well, I do feel like there's something, this inherent magic of being, I feel like the clairvoyance is coming through as well. I do feel like through dream time or meditation or just flashes of inspiration, you're going to have these kind of like, these flashes of like potentials of what could be. A quick shout out, there is a show on Amazon Prime called The Devil's Hour. I just watched it. It's a really good time. In that show, the characters, I don't want to give it away, but they can see flashes of another life. And I feel like that's what's coming through for me with this, is you're going to see flashes of potentials again, either through dream time and your waking time, meditation. I feel like some deja vu is going to be coming through. And I would say follow the flashes, follow the inspiration, because I feel like that is the wolf calling to you and inviting you somewhere unknown. But it feels incredibly exciting, right? Just remember, on the hero's journey, they never say, like, I'm good, I'm gonna stay where I am. There'd be no story if that were the case. So just keep that in mind. And with that being said, my beautiful fellow Aquarians, I am sending you so much love. I so hope this helped and resonates. If so, please let me know in the comments below. Also, if you want to stay subscribed, please comment, please like. YouTube is unsubscribing folks from the channel against their will. We can't have it, so please comment and like to stay subscribed. And just thank you so much for being here. Lastly, I do have my waitlist open for my Be Your Own Intuitive membership course. That link is in the description box below. And just thank you for being here so much. I so appreciate each and every one of you. My Aquarian core people, you are like by and large what keeps this channel running. And I love you for it. I truly love you for it. And just most of all, and as always, of course, just thank you for being you, and be well. Until next time.